how did the homework assignment go? First of all, why don't we start there? And your homework assignment was to find your credit score somehow, some way, unless you already knew what it was or roughly about there. Look at your available cash. The idea of this is to get your global financial position so that you can kind of get an idea, what you're going to be looking at, what your resources are, who you're going to need to get help from to bring in, or at least what size of facility are you going to be looking at, so that whether you're going to partner with somebody or move forward on your own. So what this looks like. Available credit to invest, list of potential joint venture partners, people to be able to work with. Hopefully we're on that list as well. And then a list of potential investors. So what we call the friends and family money, those folks that may come alongside of you and be interested in participating and in injecting $50,000, $25,000, $100,000 into a project so that you can buy something a little larger, which makes it easier to finance and obviously easier to manage, which is what we're going to be talking about today. So again, I know not all of this information is accessible and easily accessible, but I wanted you to begin at least thinking about it and understanding that this is one of the first steps. And this also feeds into the business plan that we talked about, your other homework assignment, so that you can begin exploring, what it is, so that I can get I meaning you, get a clear path and a clear plan moving forward and dialing in as to what are my resources, which will dictate what type of facilities that I'm going to be looking at, or if I need to begin to build a team, bring in some other people, some other resources, and how to go about doing this. So that was the idea behind the that exercise. Okay. We also, I'm going through notes yesterday, invited you to join the self-storage partner program, the starter program, selfstorageinvesting.com/starter, using the bonus code, coupon code self-storage now to get 30 days free. Self-storage now, 30 days free. So we are wrapping up day 5 of this challenge, and hopefully this has been beneficial. I can't imagine you haven't pulled away a few nuggets and taken some notes and getting an idea and understanding of what it is that you're looking to do and where you're planning to head as we go forward from here. So 5 days, 5 challenges, complete and submit. We're going to pick 2 winners on Monday, and you're going to receive your choice of 12 months of the self-storage starter program at $97 a month. You can attend our live academy, which is normally $997, or you can get the home study system for $1997. So again, 2 of you will be chosen, and you get your choice of one of those 3. So I'm going to talk about, I'm going to get to the day 5 homework. You still have homework you need to do this weekend. The good news is this one's really easy, and we will get to that at the end of our time together. But what I wanted to touch on and talk about today is, and we're walking through the process. Again, we're not even 30,000 feet. We're probably 40 or 50,000 feet, giving you some really good nuggets and a lot of actionable items. But 5 days, 5 hours we're just scratching the surface of this industry. So we're just really formulating the plan and giving you an idea and a sense of where to start and what the steps are, at least to begin going through this. So the premise of our entire education platform, it follows the exact same premise and the process that we go through in the investing side of our business. And that is how to find, evaluate, purchase, and manage self-storage facilities. So today we're going to be focusing on how to manage them. So how do we operate these facilities after we buy them? But ultimately, what do we do to drive the needle forward? What are we going to do to push this investment to the absolute highest net operating income? So how are we going to maximize the revenue, reducing our expenses by way of eliminating some of those with technology, and just making sure that we're firing on all cylinders and getting all the horsepower out of this self-storage engine that you are going to purchase. So again, this is in itself a large piece of our workshops and our academies, and this alone is a 3-day workshop worth of how to efficiently manage and maximize the profits of your self-storage facility. But we're going to touch on the important ones in our time together, leave some time for Q&A, and then send you off with your homework. And don't worry, we're not going to go. We'll wrap up by maybe 7 o'clock tonight. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to go a little shorter tonight because it is Friday after all. And short week, went by fast. The holidays certainly accelerated that as well on Monday. And yeah, I'm looking forward to a great weekend. I don't know about yourselves, but let's get into and talk about how do we transition these facilities over and make the best use of what we have at hand and utilizing the technology and what's available to us in the marketplace. So first thing that we're going to do after we close on a facility is we're going to do an audit. We're going to look at the rent roll, Again, we're going to look at the market and find out just exactly where rents are in the market so that we know where we're going to set our rates going forward. So we can do this by way of going on to online, looking at our competitors. You can also look at Sparefoot, which is one of the aggregators in the industry, which tracks all of the rental rates of our competitors that are on that platform to find out where we need to be in terms of, how our new facility fits into the market in comparison to the A, B, and C class facilities. Then we're going to look at property management software. Do we keep what's in place? Do we already make provisions for that in the due diligence? Are we going to go out and purchase another platform to be able to manage the facility based upon? And this is also a decision that we don't take very lightly. We certainly don't go with the cheapest. We like something that exports to QuickBooks, that we can pull down reports in Excel and manipulate, and that we also have the ability to scale and grow. And obviously, this is all online. We're not going to do or purchase any premise-based property management software. Everything has to be accessible online. We're going to contact all the vendors, let them know that we have taken over. We may use you, we may not use you, negotiate those contracts, use your best judgment, interview others, whatever that looks like, but just to make sure that they are notified. If you put yourself in a position when submitting the purchase agreement where you split up the business and the real estate, then which is what we do, we put ourselves in the position of being able to appeal our taxes, the property taxes, based upon how we have structured that purchase agreement and then buying on the business as well. So again, that's a pretty lengthy strategy to discuss. It's something we do discuss at the Academy, and if you need help with that, you can certainly contact us, as that's one of our specialties. Security system. Does it have one? Does it need updated? Do we just need to add more cameras? Or are the cameras fine? Do we need to add a new DVR system that is motion activated and has a larger storage capacity on it? What does that look like? Is there one at all? And do we need to add it because our competitors in the marketplace have security system and have a nice big display on the back wall behind the managers that people see when they walk into the facility? Curb appeal. Immediately stepping it up if it needs to be done. Yellow flags, yellow flowers, well-groomed landscape, no weeds, weed control. I mean, it needs to look as nice as your yard does. And if your yard doesn't look nice and you got a neighbor who manicures their yard, well, then make your facility's yard look like your neighbor's yard. It has to draw attention from the road for people to see it. Not that just seeing a self-storage facility and knowing that, they got banners and 1 month free, with move-in, that doesn't just cause people to say, yeah, you know what? I think I need some storage. I'm going to go get me some storage today. But what it does is when they do need storage, they remember you as they drive by because their eyeballs were drawn off the road and onto your self-storage facility because it looks great. It's got yellow all over. It's got chartreuse. By the way, that is the color that has been shown to attract the eyeball more than any other. Do you all know what chartreuse looks like? It's fluorescent green. It's like a lime fluorescent green. Wasabi is another name for it. Making sure the ample signage and it's lit and you have it at night. If you can add a reader board, time and temp up top, anything that draws their attention in the evening as well. Call the Yellow Pages, and if they happen to, in these hard to believe, but some of these older mom and pops, they still have ads in the Yellow Pages, and people even still get Yellow Pages, I understand. Cancel that if there is one in place. Look at getting on to some of the website directories like a Sparefoot, and then go out and begin a referral program with your competitors. And yes, your competitors. So go out to the other storage facilities, and you are going to be looking at the various competitors that are closest to you, and in terms of ways in how you can work together. So if they send you a customer in a 5x5, fantastic. If you can't accommodate somebody that needs a 10x10, you send them the other way. Hopefully it's the opposite of that, but that's what we're looking to do. At the end of the day is we are looking to send people in each other's direction and utilize those folks as well. All right, so do we add technology? Do we add a kiosk to the site? Is this something that we're going to explore? I would ask you to go to RamseyStorageCenter.com. This is our facility, state of the art. It's really, and I do say this without, a lot of pomp and without really drawing attention. This is one of the most technologically advanced facilities in the marketplace right now, Ramsey Storage Center. So we use Store Local as a co-op, and they are tied in their platform and the way that they manage their facilities on site using literally all the bells and whistles and technology that are available to us in the marketplace. We have that at that site. So it is it's our flagship, and it's really theirs as well. They kind of point to that site as being the site of the future. So go to ramseystoragecenter.com and take a look at the website, take a virtual tour of the facility, completely touchless. You can use your phone and an app to be able to access the facility, access your unit by way of a key fob. It is absolutely incredible, the amount of technology that is at that site. So that'll give you a good sense of the technology that we have in place at that site. So everything from smart locks on the back of the door that operate from a key fob to sending email notifications and late notices to our clients, call centers, door alarms, keypads, kiosks, property management software. There's a host of and an array of technologies in the marketplace and in our industry that you can utilize to reduce the number of hours that it takes for a manager, a site manager, and or us as an owner, the asset manager, to manage our self-storage facilities. So again, a number of those that are available at our disposal to make it easier for our clients, also safer, more secure, and reduces time for all of us. Okay. Again, we're going to do the comparative market analysis, and pending the traffic flow, meaning how many people are calling, how many people are stopping into the facility, is going to dictate whether we implement a call center or not. And I strongly recommend for 30 days that you have, at the very least, that you put a call center in place to capture the overflow. So if the manager is busy with someone, any calls that are coming in go to a call center, and they will handle the overflow, and then after hours as well. And what we're finding is a number of, and in some cases, the majority of rentals and reservations are coming from the call center. At the very least, do it for 30 days to see if it makes sense to do so, to have this in place. But then this is what you will use to set your hours, set the hours for the manager. So this is absolutely what we want to have in place, so we know, when is the most traffic coming in. Because when people are calling, when people are visiting physically and stopping into the store, that's how we set our office hours. So implementing the call center is very, very helpful in doing that as well. We're going to do an audit of the rent roll to find out. Well, first of all, we're going to do a rate comparison. And mostly we're looking for those folks that have been there forever, grandfathered in, no rental rate increases, or they're very low. They had some concessions, half off, that never got, implemented to up to full price. And we're going to send them a notice, not the entire list of clients or customers, but we're going to send those folks that are way behind in terms of their market rates. And we're going to let them know that, hey, we've done. Welcome to, we send the good news. We call it the good newsletter. Send it to everybody, but the folks in which we've audited and pulled aside to realize that they're way below the market rate, our street rates that we're offering to new clients when they come in the door, letting them know that, hey, hopefully you like the changes that we've made. Here's where you send your check to. Here's everything that's involved in our facility going forward. So look for these changes. Oh, by the way, we have done an audit, and we noticed that there are people that are significantly behind in terms of rental rate increases. And we don't want to create a hardship for you, but if this is something that you're looking to do, if you're looking to stay in our facility, unfortunately, we have to get you up to the place where you're closer to market rate. Again, we're not going to increase your rental rates by a vast amount, depending on where they're at, but we need to put you here, and that whatever that rate is, it's always going to be below what the street rate is, and then also show them the competition, how that new rate that you're setting them to, adjusting them to, is also going to be less than what the competitors are. So again, letting them know that if this causes a hardship, then by all means, contact Julie in the office and say hello to the new manager. So whatever that looks like for at that site level, that is how you're going to direct them. We're also, then we're going to do this 30 days later, again, or maybe 45 days later, the notice goes out to everyone, and there may be a slight increase as we look at the rest of the market, but just gently moving those folks up in terms of the rental rate. We're going to take a look at adding the additional profit centers for this course, or for this site. And we have a course on that, just that. There's over 40 different profit centers that you can add to a self-storage facility to increase the revenue and the small businesses within that business. And it depends upon the facility, where it's located, the demographic. Can you add truck rentals to this site? If there isn't a competitor nearby and or a protected territory, certainly if they're not selling locks, boxes, and moving supplies, you can add those, adding a retail center. Tenant insurance you can add to any site, clearly as a profit center. Can you add record storage? Well, not necessarily, especially if it's in a more rural location. There just may not be a lot of doctors or attorneys or professionals that have things to store, along with furs, art, collectibles, wine, anything along those lines in terms of your high-end temperature-controlled storage, or changing some of those units over. If you have boats and RVs that are parked there, does it make sense to have a concierge service or a detailing service? It may or it may not. But a number of eBay services do have a sizable facility where somebody's there for a number of hours to offer eBay services and then pack and ship. Again, depends upon the site, the traffic, the demographic, but we can look into any and all of those and adding those to your facility to increasing the revenue at the site. All right, so beyond that, signage is very important. I want to come back to that again. In most cases, we're going to be changing the name of the facility, taking off the owner's name, the previous owner's name. So, Jimmy John's or Jim Bob's, you stuff it in bigger attic storage. .com. We're going to take that down and name it the name of the city if we can, or behind it, we're going to name it, if it's Macon, Georgia, and Macon self-storage.com is already taken, then we took MaconStorageCenter.com, so that when somebody looks for storage in Macon Storage, we still come up and we pop up closer to the top. So anytime you can, if possible, you want to name it the name of the city itself. Then we are going to change the sign out front, make the website and the branding, update that, take any pictures off of it, logos only, offer specials, and again, improve the overall curb appeal, rebranding and branding of the site if there was no branding previously. The retail side, again, locks, boxes, and moving supplies, tape, keep lots of it on hand, and high quality tape. Protection kits for fragile items, they never remember to bring those. Furniture covers, moisture resistant canisters, all of these add to the total, add on to the total sale, and in some cases can double moving in when they move in. So if the rental rate for the unit is $50, and we're charging a non-refundable admin fee of $19 and adding renter's insurance on top of that, and then all of the other retail items, all of that can double the move-in rate on that initial move-in. We offer a dolly. Some facilities rent those out. We offer it free of charge. We don't want anybody to struggle. We just, a little deposit, or give me your car keys. You can go use our dolly, and then just bring it back when you are done. So retail ads can add a lot of revenue, quite a bit of revenue to a facility. Again, truck rental, we absolutely want to look at truck rental. If you have the ability to have somebody on site who is able to be there 30 to 35 hours, we definitely want to have and push truck rentals. But now even U-Haul is offering a kiosk, so that you can rent a truck with a kiosk. You no longer have to have somebody behind the desk for 30 to 35 hours. So even U-Haul is utilizing a kiosk at their sites as well. So along with that, the U-Haul service, first of all, they've changed over the years. They've changed to more of a marketing company, moving away from a true just renting trucks to a marketing company, and they have a number of offerings now. The U-Box that maybe you've seen around town, the Pine Box, that has a little cover on top of it. It's 8 foot deep, 5 foot wide, 7 foot tall. They rent it out for about $69. The program, the good news is that the program, you get a $23 rental commission out of that. If you store it on your site, you get $23 a month per storage commission, plus a trailer rental if they need to rent a trailer to put that on. So if you begin to look at the, and by the way, you don't have to provide any of that. U-Haul provides all of it. So, this just adds up to additional revenue for storage at a site if you have a U-Box program and a way to be able to administer it. So again, a number of ways that you can add to the profit of a self-storage facility. Now let's talk with regards to the actual management and what it looks like to oversee either a manager or oversee your facility. Well, first of all, again, putting the property management software in place is absolutely key so that you can get the data on a regular basis. You're going to look back historically and find out, what do new rents look like? new rentals per month on an annual basis. What do accounts receivable look like? And with any luck, we're going to be able to retain a manager or have access to the owner, so that for the first 30 days, we can kind of see who the habitual offenders are for those folks that were paying late, and then just really getting a sense for all the vendors and the lay of the land for 30 days. And so we will build that into our purchase agreement as well, so that we have somebody to lean on if we do have any questions along the way. So then we're going to establish our benchmarks and or our KPIs, or key performance indicators, so that we know, what we're aiming towards and what we're looking to achieve and do for the next 30 days. So what are we going to do to move the needle? How are we going to increase income, rentals, tenant insurance, all those things that we want to drive, and then set those goals in place. Make sure we are also relaying that to our managers to make sure that they know just exactly what we're looking at and how we want to drive performance, and then compensate them accordingly, so that they do receive commissions for that. And typically 10% of the additional revenue that comes in by way of selling locks, boxes, and moving supplies, renter's insurance, things of that nature. And then also, we set bonuses for achieving a certain, if it were in a lease up phase, for achieving a certain occupancy as well. So I strongly believe that you should incentivize your managers that are sitting behind the counter to be able to drive that performance, and let them share in the profits of the facility as well. Beyond that, looking at a marketing program and changing that once a quarter. Are you driving revenue? Are you driving occupancy? Can you do both at the same time? Technically, yes. If you're driving occupancy, you're getting more revenue coming in. But if you're doing that at the expense of giving discounts, months free locks, no admin fee, then you're really driving occupancy. And then after you get to a certain level of occupancy, then that's when all those concessions burn off, and you may look at doing a rental increase and increasing the revenue at that point. But it should flip, back and forth per quarter, having different incentives for the clients, for the customers to move in, different coupons, different ways of looking at things, and then changing the branding on your website, not the branding, changing those offers on your website, changing the flags and the marketing out front by way of signage and anything else that we have to let people know what's going on at the facility, because everybody's, their eyes are used to going by and seeing the same old color flags and signs, until you change it up and let them know that something else is going on. And perhaps those are the things that actually do drive people in. If anything, it does continue to make them aware of the facility where it's located. All right. Now let's talk about let's talk about accounts receivable and making sure that we get all the money in. So many of these owners, they will, they count on and they'll include in the income the late fees. They say, well, late fees are great. We love it when people pay late. Look at all these late fees that we get. Well, we know that the further along people get in terms of being late, that if you allow that to happen, it's just like people with credit cards, that eventually they don't catch up. And then you overlock them, and then you have to sell it off. And then they look at this huge bill. They realize, I can't pay that. And they just let it go to auction. And at auction, we don't get every time 100% of our back rent and late fees at an auction. So we need to pay our bills, and we need to train these people to pay to keep on time. And so the way we do that is we come in and we swoop in, and immediately, we set the bar high, meaning on the rent is due by the 5th. On the 6th, everybody's overlocked. Previous managers, they may have just done it, lazily, or, oh, these people, they're always late, and what, that they always catch up though, and they always pay, and they just allow things to go on in a fashion which is just not good for us as far as managing cash flow. So from that standpoint, we want to swoop in and let them know right away, right out of the box, that we're not going to mess around. And if you're late, when you're late, you're late. On the 6th of the month, you're overlocked, and you pay your late fees, and we're not going to waive late fees any longer. We don't want that to be an income center. We want to get paid, because we know what happens is the further they get behind, the greater the chance that we aren't going to get paid, and it actually works against us. And then we're going to audit the current auction process, make sure that we are following the letter of the law in the state in which the facility is located in. And then if we have to go to auction, or if there's anybody in the middle of that process, we're going to assume that it was done incorrectly, because we don't want to take on that liability. And so everybody does get a fresh clock. So we're going to start over with a fresh clock, and let everybody know that we're going to start over. They can come in and pay if they want, because what happens is that's the one place where we can get in trouble. in self-storage is if we don't adhere to the lien laws. And if we do adhere to the lien laws, then, well, if we adhere to the lien laws, we stay out of jail. But if we don't adhere to the lien laws, we sell off somebody's stuff and we do not follow the process and the letter of the law, we're in deep trouble. And that is the one place where we can get in a lot of trouble, because if we sell off the wrong unit and we don't follow the process, we can get sued. And guess what was in that unit? Gold bars, all that. So we want to make sure that we follow the letter of the law when it comes to the auctions. And then beyond that, I want to leave time for, again, discussing the homework, to answer questions that we have today. But what I really want to focus in on is the fact that, guys, it doesn't matter if you're buying a 50-unit facility, 100-unit facility, or a 600-unit facility. This is not a set it and forget it business. I've said that there is a simple plan to follow, and that if you follow the plan, this is a predictable business model. It doesn't mean that this is an easy business. This is not a set it and forget it. Yes, we've implemented and put systems in place like Michael Gerber, and we manage and tweak the system, but that's just it. We manage and tweak the system. So you have to walk the four corners of your business. You have to train the manager that is behind the counter. You have to work closely with your property management companies, and you have to look at your financials. You have to know thy numbers, and you have to look at those each and every month, and you need to drive the performance of those. We don't just throw up our hands and assume that, again, it's an easy business, it's on autopilot, and this is mailbox money. There is no business that operates that way. Or if you feel that it's going to run that way, it might for a couple of months, and then before long, you're going to realize that, oh boy, there's no more money coming into the mailbox. And that's because you took your hands off the wheel. So this is a business, and you need to treat it as such. The good news is that there's not as many moving parts, and so the ones that you can affect change with, you can handle, and you can drive the performance in this simple, predictable business model that we call self-storage, which does so well during a recession, which does so well during when times are good, when the economy is good. So I can't stress enough. Now is the time, folks, to begin looking into this business. And if you haven't taken us up on that offer to get into our starter program, I suggest you do so. And continue to watch us, follow us. But and if the timing is right, it isn't right now for you to begin to go into the business. I get it. That's up to you. But I will push back a little bit on that and say that, you know what? If not now, then when? If not now, then when? We talked about this before, because I've seen no better time in my lifetime, and as I've been investing in self-storage, for the greatest land grab in self-storage that I've ever seen. And we are going to make hay while the sun is shining. This is our time, and 2021 is our year. This is what we've been waiting for several years now, since the last recession. And as we head into the next one, this is our time. Okay, so what I would like to do is, let's do this. Questions, and then also primarily questions that you have about the homework assignment specifically. As you sit back and kind of take a look at things, whether you're either any of those items, if you're calculating it correctly, or what that means, or just overall your thoughts and maybe some directions. Oh, and by the way, Chris, thank you for putting the 5-star rating at Ramsey, because it is a 5-star facility. That is for sure. Okay, and thanks to everyone for letting me know. Oh, and Chris, thank you for your honesty. Yep, I got it. Well, the good news is, while you were doing that, you got a better handle on what the homework assignment was. So, okay, so I'm in the chat here. Hold on, I'm going to go to the Q&A before I forget, because there's a couple questions in here as well. All right, so Jacob asks, I live in Minnesota. In your experience, how much extra consideration do you need to make for cold weather concerns and construction, maintenance, repairs, and upkeep as compared to the warm weather southern markets? Well, one is construction. You certainly want to time it when you're pouring concrete. If you get the concrete in and certainly the walls up, depending upon your construction materials, that's the main thing. So anytime you can time that so that you're making payments on the construction loan, that there's actually construction going on. So that is definitely one. So it's interesting. More so in the warmer climates, people are wanting, there's a higher demand for temperature control, or what we call climate control. It's really temperature control, because of the humidity more than anything. That destroys stuff and makes things mold. in mildew. In the north, the buildings get cold, but they don't normally inside still, in our larger buildings and even the single story, there's no plumbing. So we don't really care so much about stuff. And when things freeze, they freeze. But most items that people are putting into storage, sometimes it's good for those things to freeze, and other times it just doesn't damage them. But the larger 3-story facilities, we will, those are temperature controlled, obviously, and we keep it between 55 and 85, which means no warmer than 55 in the winter, no colder than 85. So therefore keeping the utility bills down at a minimum as low as possible. So those are probably the main things. I'm trying to think about in construction, maintenance, repairs, and upkeep. We don't, I'm in a cold weather climate here in Indiana, and we operate in Wisconsin and Michigan, and those are the main. We just we have to sign contracts with the snow removal company. So I guess one thing to think about is you'll have that. You have to pay for that. So you have to account for that, is that you're going to have to sign a contract for somebody to come out. And with apartments, it was usually 2 inches in which somebody would come out and push snow so that nobody would slip and fall into you. But in storage, it's 4 inches. It's double that, because there's hardly anybody coming out. And if they're going to come out and get into their unit in 4 inches of snow, it's usually not going to get in the way of them being able to get into their unit and get anything outside of that. Those are, I'm sure I'm missing some others. If we do have temperature controlled, clearly a different type of insulation that we have, depending upon which climate that we're in. And we don't need to get into R factor and the different grades of insulation here. The builders will handle that. But in terms of construction and ongoing maintenance, that's about it. Joyce, you asked, what's the name again? And Ramsey, it is Ramsey Storage Center. Ramsey Storage Centers. And you're welcome, Jacob. And if there's any other questions that you want me to follow up with on that, let me know. All right, so now we'll go back to the chat. Kane, Kurt has answered your question there as well. And Kelly asked, will banks do an SBA loan to someone to build self-storage who doesn't have experience in the business? Have a great credit score? Perhaps. Kelly, they like to see experience. If this is your first go around, again, first of all, the SBA is the way to go, because that is the sole purpose and the goal of the SBA, which is to get money out into the marketplace to get the businesses running, to generate employment and move the economy forward. That's what the SBA does, Small Business Administration. And they offer these loans, they back these loans for small businesses. So their underwriting principles are a little less stringent. They definitely want more in the form of a personal guarantee. However, they don't have the stipulations with regards to experience to the level or degree as a credit union, small business loan would, community bank. However, depends upon the facility, depends upon your experience in business or as an entrepreneur or in real estate in general. And then they may ask you to they may ask you to bring in a partner that has experience in self-storage, that also has a good credit score, and maybe bringing some cash as well, just depending upon where you're at and what they need to cover their underwriting requirements. And we participate in projects where that is exactly what somebody needs. They got a great credit score, they may have cash, but they don't have experience. And they'll bring us into a project, and we'll have a small piece of it. We'll be on the loan. We may be guaranteeing a portion of it as a co-guarantor. There may be a burn-off when it gets to a certain occupancy level, but we will lend our balance sheet, if you will, on projects if they make sense to do so. So you can certainly go out and find people that have experience and have them become a part of your project in terms of a partnership somehow, some way. Chris, I think I missed it. That was your rating. I'm sure there's a joke there somewhere, but I missed it. Sorry. Marty asks, how much facility can one expect to be able to purchase based on their cash available? Well, of course, you know the answer to that, Marty, is it depends. Okay. Kane asks, no, kidding, Marty. So a couple of ways of looking at this. You got 100 grand. If you're looking at most lending programs out there on self-storage right now, they're saying 75, 80% LTV. Well, you're not looking at a very large facility. If you get 100 grand, you're going to be buying a $500,000 facility. So, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. If you get 50 grand, you're going to buy a $250,000 facility. Okay, that doesn't buy as much. But if you've got 50 grand, 100 grand, and you're bringing in partners who are bringing in additional cash, or doing a syndication like we do, then you put in your 50 and everybody else puts in 50, however it takes to get up to your down payment. Your down payment may be $1 million, and maybe 2 million, 3 million, which means that you're buying or building a $9 million facility, or an $11 million facility. Just, again, it really depends on whether you're willing to bring in other folks or not to come alongside and invest with you. If not, if that doesn't feel comfortable with you, again, that's your prerogative, however you want to go about this business. But you'll look at the cash that you have available. And if you're not open to bringing in other partners, equity partners, or other people to invest money with you, then yeah, you can expect a 75 to 80% LTV loan. And so you just do the math backwards from there, depending upon how much cash you have. Okay. Kane says, if you had 130,000 liquid and trying to get into the business through an acquisition, live in Central Michigan, what size facilities are you looking at? So yeah, I'd say, I think I just answered that question, Kane. So the same way, depends on whether you're willing to bring somebody in or not. If not, then looking at down payment of 75 to 80% LTV loan, and you bringing in 25 to 30%, 20%. And doing the math backwards from there, depending upon the loan that you can get on that facility, will dictate what size of a facility that you can look at. Don't forget, there's a number of ways of structuring these deals and what we call the capital stack. You can bring in mezzanine lenders to loan you money, additional money on top of what you have to get you up to the purchase price. There's also seller financing. They can participate and carry back a portion of the down payment. So let's say it's you need it's an 80% LTV loan, $1 million property. You've only got 100 grand, but the seller is willing to be your bank and carry back 100,000. There, get you into $1 million property with $100,000. So almost 10% down, if you want to call it that. Okay, Marty also asked, should you do your first facility in your hometown? How far away is reasonable? And we tell our folks that work with us to start with a 2-hour drive. Within a 2-hour drive, something that you can drive fairly easily, so that if you buy it, it's also easy to be able to get to and manage that manager or manage that management company, and just to go check on your site. So I would start there. Jacob says, one more question. Are solar panels a viable add-on that could help reduce costs, but also perhaps add some revenue? Answer is yes. And we're getting to that place now where they're beginning to make sense. We haven't put solar panels on any of our projects except one. I was trying to think, we had 2 now. And for the reason that they usually have a 5-year ROI, meaning it's usually in year 5 when they begin to pay for themselves, even in the sunshine states, meaning the amount of money that you expend on them, it takes 5 years to get a cost, save that much in electricity to pay for them, and then get to the place where ultimately you may be selling it back, the electricity back to the grid. So it's a little more difficult to do. You can do it in the sunshine states, and if you do it with a lot of panels, either you put them on your rooftop or you've got room on the grounds on your acreage to put them out there. That's when it makes sense to do so. There are programs out there for grants and ways to mitigate the cost a little bit, minimize the cost a little bit going in. But what I've seen right now, and again, for our projects, we typically either we're selling in 5 years, we're selling in 4, 5, 6 years, so it doesn't make sense for us to be able to do so. We don't recuperate those gains within 5 years, and so for that reason, we haven't really explored them. But most of the areas in which we operate in, it just wouldn't make much sense anyways. But good question. All right, gang. Well, that's all the questions that we have. Guys, Seekers to Success and going out about this is just focusing on this. Hit the pause button. If this is something you're really looking to do, hit the pause button and take a focus on this, and get the rest of the education to fill in the gaps of the blind spots that you have right now to take the next steps. Is definitely one of the ways to be successful in this business. I mean, there's a number of secrets to general secrets to success in business, but one of them is just start. Fear of failure also creeps into this. That's probably stops more would-be successful investors than any other factor combined. It's just a fear of what you don't know. Well, get over that fear, bite-sized steps, getting help with whatever you feel is your blind spot and you have issues with, or as you begin the process, then reach out to folks that can give you the answers that you trust to get you the help that you need, the resources, the connections, whatever that looks like. And obviously that's what we do. We invest. We invest with folks that are out there in the marketplace that are transacting business, and we also teach people how to do it, and we come alongside of them as well. So those are all the things that we do in our organization here as well. So we are here if and when you need us. We got your back. All right, so let's talk about our homework assignment, the last one. So again, went through this at the beginning, even though we started a little bit late. Want to make sure that everybody understood that we are on day 5 of our challenge. The last homework assignment yesterday was to get a complete financial snapshot of where you are so that you know which direction to head and what's next for you. So now your day 5 homework, and you're going to turn this in along with all the others. You have until Monday to do all of your homework assignments to get those in. And again, we will pick 2 lucky winners who will get their choice of our self-storage starter program for $97 a month. They can come to our live academy at $997, and that is occurring in Orlando at the end of February. So go to selfstorageinvesting.com, click on the events tab, and you get all the details on the academy there. So go there and check that out. And for those of you, the lucky 2 who are picked, that's my vote. Come see us. Come down and hang out with us, and we'll immerse you in the business for 3 days. Now you also have a choice of getting our home study system. That's a $1,997 value to get the complete guide to finding, evaluating, purchasing. The complete guide to finding, evaluating, purchasing, and managing self-storage facilities. Yes, that is the full name of it, because that's what it does. It's a business plan that goes from A to Z and shows you how to go about doing this business. So again, 2 lucky winners. You get to pick one of those gifts. All right, so today, your last homework assignment for the weekend to be able to work on and then turn it on Monday, or complete by Monday, is this. Good news is, it's not a homework assignment at all. It's not an assignment. So it is, it's a free bonus. And here's what we're gonna give to you. As I stated, this is our first challenge, and the idea behind this, call it late to the party. Everybody's doing challenges, but you know what? I've seen the challenges out there, and it's just a little bit of fluff and not much meat behind it, just to call it a challenge, because challenge seems to be a hot buzzword in marketing. So we challenge you to do all these, and we'll give you a gift. But here's what we'd like to do is we understand that during these times right now, there are a lot of folks hurting. There are a lot of folks that are out of work. A lot of folks turn into self-storage to invest passively to bolster their returns and maybe get their retirement back up to snuff. And in our syndications, they're blowing up. We're seeing all kinds of people that are coming to us to invest in self-storage, because it's a hard asset that produces income, and that's what people are looking for. And it happens to be the asset class in real estate that benefits the most during a downturn. And we've seen it. The returns that we've had since the beginning of COVID have outpaced everything else. So that side is absolutely blowing up. But for those of you that may have time on your hands, maybe you're forced to have time on your hands and you're wanting to get into this business, this is our way of giving back by hosting this challenge and by giving this free information to you, to give you a head start to do it the right way, giving you access to this information to start it. And if you need help, additional help, here's what we're going to do. No homework assignment. It's a bonus. We're going to give you a free 30-minute strategy and coaching session, free of charge, no strings attached. So you're going to take what we've given you right now, which are the beginnings of how to find, evaluate, purchase, and manage a self-storage facility, along with the beginning parts of your business plan. And by the way, this is, I hope you'll agree, this is a pretty darn good head start, but it's certainly not tip of the iceberg in terms of everything that's involved in a self-storage, in launching and growing and scaling a self-storage business. So if you need some help along the way, you want to kickstart this, you want to speed up the process, you want to have somebody come alongside of you, because you don't know what you don't know, look for access to tools and resources, you have some questions, then again, schedule a no obligation, a free 30-minute strategy and coaching session. And the link, if Kurt has not put it, there it is. Dun, dun, dun. Kurt has put the link in. And so you can schedule your call with Keith. And Keith is in our office, and because, well, depending upon his availability, I would go there now and schedule a call with him to get that free 30-minute strategy and consulting session. And be ready, be prepared. You only got 30 minutes, so you should have answers to most of the questions that we've already posed to you by way of your business plan ready. And then let them know, here's where I need help. here's what I'm deficient in. If you could help me with this, Keith, and he'll send you off on the right path, make that connection for you, send you a resource, tell you what resource you should go out and get in order to be successful, and where you fill in the where to fill in the gaps, and that's what Keith is a master at. He's been at this a long time, and he is the star on our team. There's no better person on our team to be able to have that initial call with you. So go do that, and go do that now. So folks, there's no gimmicks. Take us up on this. This is our gift to you. It's our continuing COVID give back, if you will. So yes, it is. It is our challenge, the first of which we're challenging you to take us up on this, and we challenge you to go out there and change your life for the better by getting involved in self-storage, because it has absolutely changed the lives of hundreds of people that have come through our Self-Storage Academy and who we've mentored and coached and created a lifestyle that they never thought that they could imagine. And I'm honored and just humbled that I get to do this. We get to do this, and we love what we do. We love changing people's lives, and can't get enough of that. There's our mission that we set out on a long time ago when we started this, and this education business is a mission. It's working. It's coming to fruition, and it is just incredible to see. So for that, take us up on this. We're in the business of changing lives, and we're doing it with these, what some would say, these ugly metal boxes on concrete slabs. But I think they're beautiful, and I think what it does for folks and changing their lives is absolutely incredibly beautiful. So with that, I want to thank Kurt. Let's give him a virtual round of applause for being behind the scenes and handling the technical difficulties when I don't know what I'm doing over here. And just for putting this together. This was Keith's baby, his genesis behind this, and said, yeah, we need to do this. And here's how we're going to do it. Here's how I'm going to do it differently. And here's how it's going to have value to everyone, even if it is free, and our way of giving back. And I said, done. So hats off to Kurt and to Keith. Appreciate Keith taking his time out. I know he's not on here, but I'll just say a public thank you, and you can pass that along to him when you schedule your call with him as well, for taking the time out and being able to talk with you folks. So there you go. Your last homework assignment is a gift from us, a gift of our time from the #1 education and mentoring company in the self-storage business. So there you have it, folks. All right. So with that, have an incredible Friday afternoon for those of you that are on the West Coast, or depending on where you're calling from, or evening. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. And looking forward to chatting with as many of you as possible on Monday by way of Keith. And hope to see you on the flip side, this time not on a call, but hopefully working closer together in some form or capacity. All right. With that, gang, it's been an honor. Everybody have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you on the flip side. Take care, everyone.